As we look at some issues that come up with drought conditions, water is always a concern. Lack of water, timing of water, and exposure to adequate water consumption sometimes. What are some of the issues y'all see related to water in the diagnostic lab?
Ron, we see several issues related to water as our tanks and ponds begin to dry up some. It is also an area where we see blue-green algae. And as this water concentrates down, the blue-green algae tends to seem like it proliferates. But blue-green algae can cause a number of different problems, from chronic liver disease, which can kill our animals, to absolute acute issues that can kill our animals. The other thing we see is what's called water deprivation or water intoxication, because the animals are without water for several days. Their normal water source is dried up. The owner or the producer comes along and says, oh dear, I need to put a tank out for them. Let's get some water out here for these animals. They haul some water out there. The animals tank up on it, and actually their brains swell and they will die from that. So keeping good, clean water out for our animals is absolutely essential. One
of the things we hear about, and this is not about deprivation in the sense you just talked about, but people are running out of water and they're not checking as the tanks and ponds dry up and they're relying more on well water. They're not checking them as often as they should, and we're starting to see problems with cattle actually starving to death for lack of water in this heat. So that's another issue we really need to make sure producers are aware of, to check those periodically, understand the volume of water that a cow will consume a day. And that's one reason hauling water is not a very good option in a drought. And if you do have a pond or a tank that's drying up, you need to have stock water available in a pump situation, windmill situation, whatever. But that has to be checked almost on a daily basis.
Yes, it does. The other issue that we have seen some of is even in some wells that have been used previously and now are just now being reactivated, send that water in. I need it in 16 to 20 ounce clean bottles. You can buy one at the convenience store. Fill it up with the water you want to test and send that in to me, and we'll do a water analysis. There are certain elements in water that when that well has not been used for a while, or as that pond begins to dry up, may concentrate as well and make the water either not palatable to the animals to where they won't drink it, or it could in some cases actually be detrimental to them. So we want to be providing good clean water to them as well as safe forages.
As water sources in general dry up, whether it be stock ponds or whatever, if all they have is groundwater to consume and it's in a contained or reservoir of some type, and the animals start to congregate from different species, are there some issues there we need to be concerned about?
Great question, Ron. Yes, there are. When the water concentrates that way, we do tend to see an increase in leptospirosis because we have hogs, we have deer, we have cattle sharing it, and that disease, since it's coming from a common water source, can be spread through them. There's also a disease called epizootic hemorrhagic disease that primarily affects deer because there are gnats that carry the disease that tend to congregate near the water as well, but that does not tend to affect our cattle species.